Wild animal attacks caught on tape.
A teenager who survived an incredibly rare wolf attack.
I didn't hear the wolf coming, I didn't see it, just no sense at all that it was there until it was actually on my head.
One of the 10 wolves rescued from filthy conditions in Iowa. They are now at the sanctuary in Raymond, New Mexico.
Do you guys know what a baby panther looks like? There's this woman that raises big cats, a rescue operation.
Rescuing animals in need sometimes comes with the biggest surprises of our lives. From a kitten that turned out to be a panther, to a pup that grew into a bear, and even a few infants abandoned by their parents. Hold on to watch the most shocking yet amazing animal moments and rescues that no one was supposed to see.
Do you guys know what a baby panther looks like? There's this woman that raises big cats, a rescue operation.
This is the story of a Russian lady named Victoria who stumbled upon an abandoned kitten in the wilderness near Siberia. Concerned for the creature's well-being, she brought it home, assuming it was a domestic cat. But she noticed that, unlike any cat, it was growing at a faster pace, and then got certain that she was raising wildlife. It was a black panther, who she named Luna. She had developed a strong bond, not just with her owner, but also with the pet dog.
This is her best friend. This is the family dog.
The pair drink, eat, and even sleep together. Despite concerns from wildlife authorities, she has refused to let Luna go. Also, Luna's upbringing in a domestic setting has made her more docile compared to her wild counterparts. Raker.
He was skinny, hungry, and very sick, and no one bothered to help him.
Who would have believed that this loving dog was once a homeless stray that could hardly walk? Stay tuned, because this is the story of care and second chances. Blue eyes on this slender body somehow resonated that he just needed an opportunity to shine again. But with a frail body, was that even possible? It was all a mystery until he was found by this kind lady. Luckily, with proper food and medical care, he recovered every day, and one day out of nowhere, he remembered he was a husky.
Yeah?
His foster family says he is the most incredible dog ever. From countless selfies to infinite playing, he is a friend like no one else. Trapped elk rescued.
Get you out of here. I don't really know how.
Imagine trying to save a trapped elk, but then the rescue mission turns out to be a close encounter. In September 2018, extraordinary footage was released when two on-service people found an elk stuck in a mud hole. But this was never going to be easy. Still, they decided to not leave him be. Honestly, they were willing to rescue him, but not sure if they knew what they were doing. Luckily, they ended up having the best possible idea. Perhaps that was the best idea. But what do you do when the elk himself is not willing to cooperate? However, luckily, after putting in all the efforts, he moved, and finally, he was out of it. A successful rescue, but not without cost.
Come on. Yeah, come on. Watch out. Come on, bud. He's good. He's good. He's going. He's going. He's going. Run. Here you go, buddy.
Drowning dog rescued. This is the happiness of a hero who risked his own life and saved a dog from drowning.
Heroic effort.
In the cold waters of New York's East River, when people saw a dog swimming in the water alone, they thought it would never make it out on its own. And then they witnessed this incredible feat, when a birthday boy himself decided to rescue the struggling canine. Just like any Hollywood movie, he stripped down to his underwear and then swiftly jumped into the river. In no time, the hero reached the dog and tried to grab her. Once he found a good hold, he pushed the dog to the shore. A perfect rescue, and all the credit is for this 38-year-old Gabe Costanelos. Wounded baby tiger. A baby tiger lay wounded on the ground and his mother didn't return, despite waiting for 2 days. But to save it, they had to tackle a tired and fearful animal. And why wouldn't it be? It was the cub of an apex predator. But it had to be taken care of, so they did what they could. But soon, it lost all its energy as it had not eaten in days.
It can take up to 10 minutes, and when there's this many people around, it's more stress, it's harder for the drug to take effect. He's fighting.
With proper attention, he soon became better. However, for him, everything was strange there, even a puppy like that. But luckily, it adapted to the environment soon enough. 2 years later, it was time to return to the jungle. And who knew that he would one day be known as a famous one-eyed tiger? Rabbit rescued. If you have ever wondered what a true hero really looks like, it truly is this man, who literally risked his own life to save a rabbit. In Ohio, Highway 1, this camera recorded an incredible moment when a man was seen rushing and almost begging the rabbit to not head towards fire. Luckily, as the footage progressed, the audience found out that the rabbit somehow understood what he was saying and it was saved. This footage took the social media by fire. Overnight, he became a hero, and not one, not two, but hundreds of posts were all up for appreciation. Dog in a well. This poor dog got trapped in more than a 20-meter deep well. But what happened next wrote an extraordinary tale of survival. With a body drained of energy, this dog was barely clinging on and fighting for its life, but something extraordinary was waiting. When a rescuer with a helmet on went down the well, willing to help, but it was never easy. Finally, he reached the water's surface, and this intelligent dog, wanting to be saved, came close to the rescuer. This skilled guy then carefully put him in his only lifeline and made the rescue a success. The loyal penguin. Although thinking that this tiny creature just swam more than 5,000 miles just to see the person who rescued it sounds unbelievable, that is true.
Penguin might stay here for a week, then it walks down to the beach and leaves. It spends 10, 12, 15 days, and then comes back to the same house.
This couple from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, has the world's most incredible story ever. A 73-year-old part-time fisherman had once saved this little fella, and from then on, they are inseparable. Every year in June, this penguin comes back from the coast of Argentina to spend time with his friend. And then, as soon as their breeding season comes in January, it leaves back to serve its natural duty. It is the true story of a penguin who fell in love with a friend and began the tale of harmony. Dog saved a cub. A photographer going in the wild for some photographs, but when he returns to be a dad, this abandoned cub was left alone by its mother in the wild world, and honestly, it's lucky to survive. Fortune played by its side when this photographer came to the aid, and despite the cub being terrified, he scoffed at it and decided to take him home. If everything plays out, well, you know the real hero is this dog who spotted him in the first place. Watch how hungry it is. Once he was fed, he took him to the vet, and with proper medical care, well, the future of this little cub is in good hands. Cat guarded. Security cam captured an incredible moment when a dog launched itself on a cat, and it couldn't find a way out. But then something extraordinary happened. A passerby, without thinking twice, got into the way and tried to stop them, although there were very high chances of the dog turning at him. However, he was not willing to take no for an answer. But can he really go against this angry animal? As he tried to take him back off, the cat was confused that it wouldn't see an easy escape. Luckily, the dog did not try to get her again, and the day was saved by an unsung hero. Eagle owl.
What kind of dog is that?
Well, surely it's a surprise to find a dog with wings, but the amazing part is their heart-wrenching story. This lady found an abandoned owl on the side and decided to take care of him, but she hardly knew how it was going to turn out. But today, Michael the Eurasian eagle owl has become a significant part of the family.
We're the family now. My baby bird. I'm her mom.
And they are inseparable. Wherever they go, whether it's school time or a long drive, he is not leaving her alone. But one thing it can't stop doing is hiding the stuff around the house. And it just loves his life. You don't have to believe me, watch it for yourself. Hungry wolf. Watch this lonely wolf on the highway. But trust me, if you want to see how kindness goes a long way, this is the perfect footage. This wolf on the highway acted cute, wagged his tail, and even rolled as if he had completely worn off its wild nature. So why is he acting like that? The answer is, 3 months back, a truck driver found this wolf in the wild, and out of sympathy, he threw a custard pie and uploaded the video on the internet. It went viral and made everyone stop at this place and feed at least something to this beautiful creature. One act that seems so little, but its kind spirit has somehow altered the course of many and revives the idea of coexisting once again. Bear with jar.
Get closer. Get up there closer. We got a bear here. Poor thing's got a tub on its head.
If there is one thing that one never expects on vacation, it is to find a grizzly bear swimming in a lake.
Oh, he's getting scared.
Especially when its head is stuck in a plastic jar. A family went fishing on a lake in Wisconsin and something unbelievable was witnessed when
I was able to grab the jug and I pulled on it as hard as possible.
This is such an unexpected sight that one can easily panic, but this lady decided to go with the most courageous option.
Trying to figure out how we're going to get this tub off his head.
As soon as they got close, the poor creature tried to dodge them.
Oh, pretty slow down.
But willing to help, they were not going to give up that easy.
Keep coming.
Yep.
And finally, they did it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
What a story to tell your friends. Well done, people.
We saved our little bear.
Good job, buddy.
Desperate deer saved. A deer entangled in a wire fence was spotted by some tourists, and when they checked, she couldn't come out of her own. Willing to help when they tried to get closer, suddenly she tried to escape, making it even more difficult for the rescuers. But soon she calmed down, and one of the hikers stepped forward to untangle it. But the situation was just out of hand, so cutting the wire down was the only option. Soon again, it retaliated before it was cut loose. But the hikers, understanding her nervousness and desperation to come out of it, tried again. And this time, they did it right. Soon the deer went on its way to its family. Trapped bearcub. A young bear got separated from its mother and had to find its way up, but it needed some extra help in doing so. The cub growled in hopes of finding someone to help him climb up because no matter what he did, his paws were not grown enough. Fortunately, just when he was about to give up, a rescue team came and they were ready to help. After sedating him, now they had to be fast because with this dose, he soon will be waking up. After relocating him, the doctor ran a quick examination and then he was all ready for the reunion. Watch him as he stirs himself up and poof, in no time he is back on his feet. Well done, guys! Dwarf stallion.
I got a call from a lady who she said, my mayor just had a baby and it's a dwarf, so we're gonna put him down. I said, no, don't do that.
Although it looks like these are 3 dogs, that's not true, because one of them is an amazing dwarf horse named Penelope. On a summer eve, a woman received a call from her friend who owned a ranch. She told her that her mare had rejected one of the babies because it was too weak and they did not know what to do with it. So this young lady with a heart of gold decided to adopt it. That was the moment when it was the beginning of a new story. A dwarf horse with a beautiful spirit became a family member of perhaps one of the best households ever. He has got friends and he hardly ever feels like he is not a dog. Elephant freed from hole. In the middle of the night, when an elephant mother was heard yelping, this monk knew he had to do something and decided to follow him. This is what they found. A baby elephant had gotten trapped in a deep hole, and with its planed walls, there was no way it could come out on its own. It tried everything to be reunited with its mother one more time. Luckily, the rescue teams were nearby, and the only way was to make a getaway for this baby. After hours of struggling, they finally made a way out for this young elephant. Hear the joy. It truly is inexpressible. And now it can go and meet its mother. Cougar cub. On a summer eve, Elber Guzman, a farmer from Colombia, found this kitten on the side of the road and decided to bring her home. But to her surprise, the way it walked and acted was far from any normal cat. His rescuer grew suspicious of its behavior and decided to contact experts. When they examined it, they knew something was off, as it had a comparatively longer build of the body and stronger paws. This cat was everything but just a kitten. Rather, it was a cougar. Elber couldn't have imagined it to turn out to be like this. Eventually, he had to let it go with the specialist for better good. Asiatic black bear. What if I tell you that this grown bear has spent most of his life being a dog? Even if it sounds like a lie, this is true because in China, when a family adopted an abandoned pup, they thought it was a Tibetan Mastiff puppy. But just a few months into upbringing, they soon realized it was not something that they were expecting, as the animal grew to reach 250 pounds and started using 2 legs. When they contacted the wildlife authorities, the staff themselves were surprised by the mistake. What they thought to be a bulky pup turned out to be an endangered Asiatic black bear. Later, it was taken to a wildlife rescue center so that he could enjoy the wildlife, as he deserved to. Baby Puma. If one word comes into your mind after seeing this cub, it's cute, because that's the same thing that Florencia Lobo and her brother initially thought of. However, what they found later about this rescue was just mind-blowing. In reality, at Santa Rosa de Lee, when the family found this cute little cub, they instantly thought to bring it to a home shelter. But 2 weeks later, they found something unbelievable, as it has always been a Puma Burgundy, one of the rarest of its kinds. Luckily, the vet quickly identified it and informed the security. Otherwise, a puma in an urban environment, well, that does sound like a mismatch. Today, this puma is a 3-year-old fine wild cat, happily living its wild adventures. Polar bear. Okay, this is not what it looks like because these two have an incredible story. This is one of the few moms who left her offspring, but the zookeeper rescued the cub and practically became his new mother, who feeds it, plays with it, and is a friend that cares. Soon it found a new family, but the journey wasn't easy. As he told us, for almost a week, the polar bear felt alone. But this happening in China gave birth to a unique example of harmony, telling us an amazing tale. Stray dog rescued. A stray dog in a trash pile wanted to find a savior who believes in kindness. This is the amazing story of a dog who thought he couldn't have seen good days. As he tried to walk, his frail body clattered. Fortunately, one day a lady spotted him and started giving him food. With every passing day, trust developed between them. So the lady took the animal to her home, where he grew better and better. His health improved, and at last his eyes, which were once afraid of the world, now saw it with affection and harmony. Moon bear rescued. In Laos, someone spotted a bear living in a tiny enclosure and contacted authorities. What happened next was just mind-blowing. In its small house, this bear was not taken care of properly. His body was weak, and watch how he wanted to leave. Authorities immediately took action and retrieved the bear to transport him to a much better facility. With proper care and attention, they all expected him to thrive, and just watching him play, he instantly found himself at home, surrounded by lots of new friends. With time, he became a healthy grizzly bear who loved to swim. Orphaned hyena pup.
Nyezi was found alone in a field. He was actually handed to us in a shoebox. He was that small.
Thinking of making a hyena a family may not be the most common idea, but in this household, this wild predator is a friend. This abandoned pup was all too alone with nowhere to go on the field, while a lady rescued him to the center and later got the permission for adoption. From then on, its innocent eyes got home in her heart forever, and she started caring for him. So much so, when she thought he was alone, she brought a friend for him. And as the days passed by, it grew to be a fine young hyena. This is the story of a woman who raised a wild predator. Puppy saved. A group of people got called to help a mama dog who had been looking for someone to get her babies out of the rubble. Finally, her calls for help got answered, and what happened next was truly mind-blowing. As the rescue team arrived at the scene, they found a mother who seemed hopeful to see them. As soon as this rescuer started clearing out stones, she even got relaxed. But the story was just getting started, because amid all the rubble, even the rescuers were afraid if they were still alive. But the passion of Mother had no boundaries, so he started digging again with her. Luckily, what they found there was a miracle, as they could hear their voices. And after digging for about 30 minutes, they found all of them alive. Yes, you heard me right, they were alive and perhaps very hungry as well. After relocating them to a safe place and seeing them like that, one thing is very clear: mothers' love and passion for their children is divine. Lone baby deer.
I've always been a city kid. Yeah. And then I ended up raising a deer.
This is the most incredible story of Thor.
Thor!
It all started with the day when this woman's husband heard some sounds from her yard, and then Thor came running to her. They later found out that the deer was abandoned. Not knowing where the mother was, it was all alone in the wild, so they instantly became parents of this beautiful creature. But the journey wasn't simple. Hear her as she recalled.
He would be out there somewhere, and I would call his name. He would come running down and come get his bottle of milk.
Once Thor got 2.5 years old, he started leaving for some time, but always came back to meet his rescuer. Honestly, Thor and her in this world are perhaps a hope to coexist one day. Neglected polar bear. After giving birth on November 15, 2015, Nora faced the biggest tragedy when her mother turned against her. From then on, she was alone, but the zookeepers decided to help her at their best. They became her mom and her dad and took care of her. She was an infant and needed her mother's milk. But with a specialized diet, zookeepers had fulfilled the nutrients of the milk. At this age, her needs were much more like a human child. Round-the-clock feed, plenty of sleep, and lots of attention. But as time passed, she grew like a fine polar bear. Even today, she remembers her family and treats them with affection and care. Eagle set free.
Wakey, wakey, dude, you did well.
A creature from far above the skies faced the most difficult situation of its life, bearing the tragedy alone. Everyone at the care asked the same question: will she ever be able to soar high above the clouds again?
She had been accidentally shot by some duck hunters.
Everything depended on how the procedure went. After the anesthesia wore off, she came back to consciousness. That's a positive, but the real challenge was, will she ever be able to trust her wings? After completing 6 months in rehab, she flew, but not for long. But after a few more weeks, she was ready. And with just that push, there she goes, back to life.
With a few flaps, she was up in the high blue yonder, soaring around.
Injured pup saved. In India, the rescue team received a call that a pup needed help. But as they approached, its protective mother was the biggest hurdle in saving it. Luckily, soon she realized that they were there to help her and allowed them to touch the pup. As the rescuer took the pup, the mother saw hope for survival. Now, taking it to special care was their only option. After careful medical treatment and proper food, it could stand on the ground and quickly responded with trust. Soon after the rescue, he turned out to be completely different. Watch how joyous it looked! And now this is the time for the best moment. A reunion! Abandoned Pitbull.
Here's a dog that was probably dumped out here. She's very skinny. She's very skittish. I'm trying to earn her trust.
After hearing the news of an abandoned pit bull in the forest, the search for this lady had finally come to an end. But to help her, the real question was, would she ever trust humans again? In summer 2022, after trying hard for 3 days, she got to take her home and instantly knew this was the right moment. But this was just the beginning of the real challenge. Here, as she explains.
She appeared to be in pretty poor physical condition, so my plan was to rehabilitate her mentally and also take care of her physically.
With proper affection and medical care, the Pitbull finally seemed to come back to life. From going out for walks to making friends, this dog had truly embraced the change and became a part of the family. Who can't even think of losing her ever again? Orphan deer.
Come this way, buddy. Yep, right here.
If being at the right place has a visual, then this is the best footage you'll ever see. An isolated fawn was spotted by a family in the middle of the jungle. Luckily, they were there to take it out.
Yep.
Got it.
But the real story is just being started. They left it around, thinking mother should accompany her. But a few hours later, the fawn followed them around. The family contacted the wildlife sanctuary, and they were pretty sure that it was all alone and needed proper help. Watch it yourself. Later, they handed it over to the experts, and with proper medical care and attention, in no time, the fawn became a healthy deer with a friend to share time with. Donkey paradise. Imagine a life when daddy sings to sleep.
Sweet love, that's the only thing there's just.
This donkey has perhaps one of the most gifted lives of us all. But as you hear this story, you realize how incredible they all have been. When Ivy was born, his body was frail and he had trouble standing up. But his parents realized his uncanny response to music, as rhythms suit him for some reason. And from then on, their story is all about songs. From joint small concert sessions to solo performances, their life comes straight from donkey paradise. Family says they are as intelligent and caring as any other animals. So why not? They deserve heaven on earth. Baby fox saved.
Yeah, so he's definitely coming back with us, unfortunately. You can see the massive amount of swelling to the face.
A baby fox badly entangled in the coarse netting wrapped tightly around his muzzle. All he needed was a hero so that he could return back to his family, but it wasn't easy. Watch this guy as he carefully manages to untangle This is the fox. Luckily, it happened without a hitch, and later, oh yes,
he's definitely coming back with us, unfortunately. You can see the massive amount of swelling to the face.
It was absolutely necessary to get a thorough checkup. In no time, the vet ran all the tests, and with this, oh well, he is ready to go back home.
And I think we're happy to say that it's ready to be released back in the wild.
Honestly, it is the people like him, because of them, we can truly imagine this world to be a habitable place, open for everyone. Trapped baby raccoons. On a normal day, something extraordinary happened when a raccoon was seen asking for something. At first, they were unclear of what he was looking for, but then they realized it was something mysterious. Mother raccoon was asking for help as her cubs were stuck behind the wall. The moment they found out, the homeowner was all up for the rescue, and with a small tool, he made the passage clear for their reunion. The moment the mother raccoon realized no one was around, she quickly took the babies out. And honestly, watching them loving was so precious that even the rescuer was happy. Watch this footage. This guy on a vacation trip found a raccoon struggling in the river and decided to help it.
So we were sitting on the porch and we noticed something swimming in circles across the lake.
Just watch how exhausted it was. And why not? The animal was all alone in the cold water. One thing, if you notice, is he looks trusting. After all, he is its rescuer, Kaio. This guy truly has saved another life.
So we get him in the boat and you can just tell how weak he is. He was struggling to...
And later, when its mom was nowhere to be found, he decided to hand it over to a care center where it shall begin a new life in protection. Black bear pal.
No, it's not raining. Ooh.
This black bear looks like an uninvited guest, but what bear in the world literally listens to the homeowner and closes the door while leaving? Their story is just incredible because this family, after finding an abandoned baby, decided to take care of it. And soon as the days passed, their bond becomes an unbelievable one. But as it grew up to be an adult, it had to return back to the wild. However, unlike the expectations, that wasn't the end of the story, because every now and then it would return to reunite with its rescuers. On the screen, you can see a formidable bond between a large wolf and a trainer from Russia. There was a time when Andrea had a textbook life, and then something incredible happened that changed his life forever. On a vacation trip, he found an abandoned pup. He was healthy, but tired and exhausted, so he fed him with love and care. But soon as the days passed, he noticed he had an abnormal growth. In just a few months, he was about the size of a middle-sized puppy. But he ignored it, as it didn't matter to him. But this wasn't something which could have been turned a blind eye. As he mentioned this to an animal expert, he instantly recognized it as the largest species of the wolves. Home care had made him docile just like any dog, and Andrea could sense that, as he never had gotten aggressive with him either, or anybody else. So he decided to live with their bond. But after a few years of companionship, he suddenly collapsed and left everyone only with his memories. He might have gone from this world, but he and Andrea had left an example that can teach us so much about love and the idea of coexisting. Adios! Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.